Hey guys, Jess from Knockout Print Shop, and today I have for you my April reverse plan with me. So in these videos, I go through a full month of my spreads and kind of show you each week what stickers and things I use and how I kind of laid out each week and all of that. So I'm not really going to go through the mission board. That's something I do in my reflection videos. So we will flip right into the month. So if you've watched any of my videos before, you know my month view is a little nutty because most of it is plant stickers. But I did do a few things differently this month, so I'm going to go over that. So I always have my contact sticker here just to remind me of when to change my contacts, and I also do that on my week view, although I don't know if I did that in this month. Some of the things that I always do too that I'm sure you've heard me talk about, I use these little striped flag stickers just to mark down the week one of my online training clients program, so I know when they need a new program and when they paid. And then obviously I use all my different plant stickers to represent when I watered my plants. You can see sometimes I didn't have that particular plant sticker left in my stock, so I just had to write little initials down. And then I think that is it as far as my normal stuff. So then I'll go over the new things that I kind of tried. So what I've been doing lately with the notes section is I write down the stuff I want to put in our April newsletter, and that way I kind of have this running list as things pop into my head. And then I write down initially, before I put any stickers down or anything in each date, just if there's any significant quarterly or annual bills due. So obviously April was tax month, so those were there. So from there, the next thing I did that was a little different is you're going to see a lot of these are our dividable washi stickers. And honestly, I like this and I don't at the same time. I'm not sure why I used these instead of the month labels. So what I used them for was I pre-scheduled or kind of laid out my Instagram posts for the shop by indicating the type of post that I was going to do every particular day based on different things that were going on. So the reason I said I wasn't sure why I used these month labels actually have more of a like separation around them, whereas the dividable washi is obviously supposed to be one continuous strip. So I think it would make more sense to use the month labels for that versus having this like ongoing dividable strip. They work really well though, obviously, for that function. So it worked okay. So basically what I did was I tried to keep it all with the gray. So here's when I started to kind of draft out what posts I was going to put up. Ran out of gray ones, as you can see down here, and I used the green guys. So that was just, again, kind of pre-laying out my monthly posts. I also use an app called later.com, and that's how I pre-schedule all of my posts. It's a lot easier when you're an online business or you're someone that posts a lot to not have to go on Instagram and use your thumbs and type things out. You can actually type on your desktop and pre-plan out all of your posts. But it was nice to have a rough draft on here, and I can move things around a little bit, obviously, and just kind of look without having to go into the app or even the website, the desktop version, and look at when my posts were. So that's what that first kind of the gray and the green are. And then I also used the dividable washi to indicate the vacation I had. My family came to North Carolina, we went to the beach. So that was the blocking off that the shop was closed and we went on vacation. And then I used the blue dividable washi here to indicate when we had sales. So you can see that we had our clearance sale, we had our Easter sale, and then we had our spring cleaning sale. So that is what I used that for. And then I did use the month labels just to indicate when our two collections or two new releases came out in this past month. So that is basically my month view. Oh, and then I used a little Happy Easter from our Easter sampler. So that's the month view for April. The content, the Instagram content, is the thing that I did differently. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that in May. It was kind of chaotic and kind of double duty because I already do it in that later.com app I was talking about. So I'm not sure. So that is the month view. On to the spreads. So week one, April 1st, is kind of like a mini spread because obviously we were gone. Shop was closed for 5 days. So I used the weekly dividable washi, which I'm really liking this stuff. Used the arrow pieces and then the middle to just write down the, what I was dividing or writing out there. This layout, I used some top threes and some to-dos. I'm continuing to use these boxes around things to just kind of block off time and help me not feel like I have to do a million things and fill up the whole entire column for the day. So use small check boxes here like those. Decided to do classic and bubble header. I'm not sure if I like these two together. I'll probably continue to keep in May just picking one or the other. And then I used some dollar symbol hexagons just to indicate some tasks that were money related. I like to use the little alarm clock icon to remind me to schedule Instagram posts. I've been using the computer icon a ton for any kind of either website work or new release stuff, anything that involves like lots of computer work, stuff like that. Use the pen one just to remind me to write programs for clients. And then down here I put close shop for vacation. So this was just a reminder to go in and actually, close the shop up so that no one could shop anymore. And then originally I was going to put the time here. That's why I have this layered, but clearly I didn't do that. And then down in the daily boxes, I usually use this for mostly personal stuff. You can see here my usual kind of cleaning and chore icons. I have been using the stopwatch icon a lot to indicate we were doing a body weight interval type training over the past 2 months. So these came in handy for that because it wasn't weight training or kettlebell training or anything that the other icons we saw would have worked for. And then I used the skinny labels just to write down making my dough and baking my bread. Used a circle sticker here, half striped circle sticker for when to pick up my parents from the airport. And I did continue with this sidebar grid for highlights. Obviously the highlight that week was going to the beach with my family. So this was a really nice spread, nice and clean, used 2 different colors, not much going on because we were on vacation. All right, now we get into the cluster you know what week. Also, I've been using the weekly focus inserts a little bit. I didn't use the highlight section here, but I did like these 2 sections. I think I'm gonna talk about that in a different video, but what I do is I do keep these in here because this helps me do my month reflection at the end. So I like to keep these in each week, but I'm gonna move them so you can see. Okay, so this was my Game of Thrones spread. And while I love Game of Thrones and I love these little icons, I do not like how red looks with green. We had originally, when we made this, tried to find a way to make it coordinate with the colors of Yosemite, but it just didn't work. You can't really make Game of Thrones green unless you pick only one of the houses. So we just went with the regular Game of Thrones colors, and hey, it's Game of Thrones. I should have just covered this with a sticker down here. So in this one, obviously you can see I did a top 3 situation up here, sort of. Use the divider here. I don't usually decorate a lot, but since I had the Game of Thrones kit, I obviously used the little icons and things. I used some ombre check boxes from that kit to do my top 3. Some bigger tasks, I used the half boxes that were in the Game of Thrones kit and the flags and stuff like that, just to draw attention to things and highlight things. Obviously use the camera, the video camera, for filming or taking photos. And then down here I decided to use quarter boxes for my different baking type things. Still using the stopwatch, still using all of my normal chore stuff. I do like to use the piggy bank guy for when I have to do a savings transfer, so transfer from my checking to our savings. And then I played around with putting our newer daily task list over here, and I did like it, but then what I realized was when I had all this other shit here, I'm like, oops, now I don't have a lot of room to put anything else on Saturday and Sunday. Usually I don't have anything going on the weekend, but just with all my Game of Thrones stuff, putting this here kind of made everything else go up. So again, this is a little different than usual. I use the envelope for mailing taxes. This was supposed to say lunch date, but clearly I didn't finish writing that in. Obviously Game of Thrones, clearly didn't finish writing the time in. These are all the plants I watered that day. I like to use the time to plant sticker. We went to the zoo, so I had to kind of layer that in here because I'd written all this other stuff first. And then just use again, this is a more decorative, weird, random, kind of chaotic spread for me. And then again, we have the highlights over here. I did throw in one of these goal colors, habit trackers here, and use that kind of off to the side as well. So, and this one I just use daily tasks for. Talk about that later. All right, so then we have the next week. So are we on week 3 now? 1, 2, yeah. And we had a bunch of these that we had messed up. So I would use the mess ups because why throw it away? So these are not punched. So I'm just gonna move that out of the way. But okay, so now we have Easter. I actually really like this. I'm not a huge Yosemite fan, but I do like green. So, and I like this of the 2 greens that are in the palette. I do like this green. So now I used the Easter kit for the week of Easter. This week I went with using priority classic headers on the top and just putting one task that kind of headlined that day, weekend banner, and then I kind of divided that from the rest of the spread by using the washi that came in the kit, covered Easter with that. Obviously, again, we have this same sidebar here. Took the little extra bit of washi, put it there, just wrote this week and just layered it with the little carrot thing. I'm not a big planner decorator, so I just kind of throw this stuff in little places. I did use 3 heart check boxes then to kind of put after the priority the other kind of 3 major tasks. And then obviously from there using icons and things and blocking stuff out that were bigger tasks. I did use these guys this week, the hexagons, solid hexagons. This was to kind of check on my ferments, my kombucha. This was for a call with our graphic designer. I used this scallop box layered with the little phone just to indicate when I was going to have a FaceTime call with my friend Lizzie. I've been using the teardrop stickers a lot to remind me of my French practice. Clearly I didn't even put that down here. Oh my gosh, I didn't even put it down there. It's amazing I even did it this month. Then I used the clear, the transparent stickers to again highlight when I have to do something coaching related with my coaching clients. Use these skinny labels again to write down tasks that were related to cooking stuff. These are good. Usually, when we design these, we had it, this side, most people would write maybe like the time and then the task here, but they can also be used as kind of like check boxes, I think. And I like to write the little task here and then check it off there. Water plants, of course, used a couple of our spring cleaning new guys to indicate when we did some decluttering and spring cleaning stuff. And I think that is all. Oh, and then you obviously see down here the daily task thing. I did use that again in that same location. So that is week 3. And then we have week 4. Let me take out my habit tracker so you can see this spread whole, but I do transfer my habit tracker from week to week. You can clearly see one of these habits didn't go so well, and then again I have another one of these loose. Okay, so this is last week, and I do like this light blue. I used monochrome this week, so you can see I basically was monochrome here with a little bit of gray. This was gray and red, and then that was blue and this kind of camel color. So I like monochrome, I like simple. So I did the same thing here by using priority and blocking out the number 1 task. And then you can see here again, I used bubble headers. So again, I'm not sure if I like this. I think next month I'm going to stick with one or the other when I use 2 headers. Sidebar here is the same. So again, after priority, I just kind of created this running to-do list. And you can see this week was really about, because we had our rebranding done, we are developing a new website. So it's been, anybody that's done website stuff, especially if e-commerce where you have a lot of products and things to go through and reorganize, it's been quite a bit of work. So there's been days just dedicated totally to that. So you can see that here. I used a star icon to kind of indicate that here, phone call. Just again, some tasks that were business related that involved like a lot of work on the computer. Use that. We did take 2 pretty awesome hikes this week. So I used our new little hiking icon girl. Bill do. I like to use a little sticky note, one of the small guys for when we have a new release. And then just some other random shapes here. I like using quarter boxes just to bring attention to a task that I don't want to forget to do. I did use the hexagon solid guys again to remind me to check my different ferments that I'm doing, my kombucha, my sauerkraut. And then you see the chaos that is the icon section down here. Again, workouts with the little stopwatch. You can see the Frenches again, my French practices with the teardrop and ordered contacts. I'm not sure why I used the $sign for that, probably because I had to pay for them, so that's what I did that. Just some tasks and chores. I kind of crammed a bunch of chore things into here. Game of Thrones sticker because it was epic and you have to put that down. And then just a this week banner. These are my favorite this week kind of headers, and just wrote a running list of this week. So sometimes I'll put stuff over here in this week, and then that's kind of my reminder, and then I transfer it to the day just as like, okay, well today I'm going to do one of these tasks. It seems a little bit redundant, but this helps me not forget things. So I do like to do that. And then you can see in certain places I was having to kind of arrow over to next week, like I didn't finish this. I'm doing this now, which is not Friday the 26th. So I've been getting in a habit of kind of doing that. So when I go to do plan for the next week, I can look at the previous week and go, oh yeah, don't forget to do these things that you kind of bumped over to the next week. And I think that's pretty much it. We also have some new quote stickers. We're going to start selling those as sheets because we have gotten some feedback that you guys really like the quote stickers. So we're changing up our packaging and different things, and now I think we're going to potentially sell some of these so you guys can have like a sampler of quote stickers. Sometimes those are nice to have in your planner, whether you put it in the weekly spread, or I know some people will put them in this kind of area here. So those are always fun. So that is my April. I actually used my notes and ramblings to do some jotting down with ideas, and then I haven't done my April reflection yet. So that is April, guys. My crazy month view, you can see there, pretty light here with vacation week. Crazy freaking Game of Thrones week, then you kind of have Easter week, and then you have this monochrome blue week. So super functional, lots of headers, just some icons to indicate different things, and again, creating these hand-drawn boxes around to make sure that I'm not trying to do more things than humanly possible in one day. All right, guys, so that is my April reverse plan with me. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know how your April went, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.